Hello everyone, welcome again to the Sacred Heart School Study Help Guide. Here is your Mamta Miss. Welcome dear 8th class students to the part 2 of your English to Literature poem Invictus. So before we begin the second stanza, in my previous video I have taught you about the first stanza. Okay, let us have a small recap. Recap of the previous class. In the first stanza, the speaker alludes to the terrors that night holds. It is a dark and horrific place that stretches from one side of the planet to the other. The image conveys an oppressive place so deep that escape seems impossible. He thanks the God for providing him with such a vital force to overcome his horrific circumstances. I hope, my dear students, you might have understood, isn't it? No? So, let us now go for the second stanza. Second stanza also contains 4 lines. Okay? So, let us go and read. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. My dear students, poet is in suffering, is in pain. As I told you, he was suffering from the tuberculosis and one of his legs was amputated. In this suffering also, you see how he made his mood to write this poem Invictus. And this positivity is an inspiration to every reader to understand one's life, isn't it? So, in the second stanza, we'll go for the explanation of the second stanza. So here, the poet says, in the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Fell clutch of circumstance means what? Unavoidable grip of fate. And what happens in the life? Suppose one has been trapped. If one has been trapped in a trap, whether it is an animal or any human being, whatever may be, maybe the human beings might have been trapped by another human being, and the animals are also been trapped by the human beings. So when one is trapped, my dear, he is in the fell clutch of the circumstance. The circumstance has made him to be under someone, isn't it? He is trapped now. So when one is trapped, what he or she will do? Obviously, he or she will either scream loudly or cry for help, isn't it? No. So now understood about whom I am saying here. It is the poet who has fallen down in the clutch of circumstance. And in which clutch of circumstances? Sorrow, pain, all the problems and difficulties has fallen upon him. And he, as I told you in the previous class, that he is in the ditch, in the dark ditch. He has already fallen down and he has no way to come up. That means he has already been trapped with all the problems, with all the difficulties. He is in the fell clutch of circumstance, isn't it? I have not winced nor cried aloud. It means even though he is being trapped with all these situations, but still he never screamed nor cried for help. He just thought of himself to come over the situation. Okay? So he never asked help to anyone else. He himself tried his best to overcome these difficulties. So under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. So here, my dear, bludgeoning is what? Cruel blows. Even though he is in the chance of getting lot of pain and difficulties, means he is getting blows of pain and sufferings to his body. Okay, and his head is totally in bloody. Okay, totally in bloody means his head is not working. He has never asked help to anybody else. So, under the bludgeonings of chance, even though he is in a very difficult situation, when we find difficulties, what we do? We ask help to our parents, to our friends. We say, oh my God, isn't it? We even ask help to the gods. But here, he thanks God that still his strength is alive. He is having such a strength which he can recover himself from this difficult situation. And he is saying that even though I am in pain and suffering, but I will never bow my head. So eventually the poet claims that whenever he fell into some difficulty, he always remained unbeatable. However situations have tried to destroy him, he always fights back with the courage. In fact, he agrees that sometimes difficulties have made him bleed and suffer. No, under the bludgeonings of chance. It means what? Even though there are lot of blows, lot of sufferings and pain to his body, but if his head is full of blood and suffer, all the problems are going on in his brain. Okay, but he never let himself to bow before them and cry out of fear. He never bowed his head. He never cried. He is standing by himself. He is trying to overcome his difficulties and problems and face the situation boldly and courageously himself only. So this is what, my dear, the poet conveys the message also to the readers, that we have to face all the difficulties and situations in our life courageously, so that not only our body, our mind also will be with us, so that we can overcome any of the difficulties that cross our life. This is all about your second stanza, my dear. Okay.